Hello TEL200 students, and welcome to the screencast video for Lesson 5. First, before we get into Lesson 5, I just want to thank you all for your open and honest reflections in Lesson 4 and in Lesson 3 about the role of race, gender, and religion, the ideas to create your DST maps and the aspects that have influenced your development over time, and also the attention to the biases we have and where they stem from, and how they might impact our lives as we move forward. It's been refreshing and an honor to be a part of the work that you guys are doing to self-reflect and consider who you are and who you want to be in the process in becoming. So thank you from the whole team for sharing those ideas and insights with us. As we move into Lesson 5, we're still going to be thinking about our future career, but in this lesson, it's going to take a turn to really focus in on, once you're in that career, what aspects of professionalism or professional development will you want to or engage in keeping up with, right? So those are the ideas for this lesson. And so you're going to read an article on professional development, learning-centered model, and be thinking about, as you're reading, depending on whatever field you want to go into, what do you think will be the expectations for growth in that field, and how might this professional development model apply to your future career? You're also going to watch a video on professionalism and being a professional and what that looks like, what that means, and how you present yourself as a professional. The other thing that you're going to be reminded of is, remember that in the last lesson of our class, you are going to post a video of yourself, right? And so if you haven't already decided on a video tool, I want to again put out a shout out for YouTube. And in this lesson, I've included a hyperlink here to read up on how to use your ASU YouTube account with Blackboard. The other thing I would strongly encourage you guys to do is to go into the conversations board and start posting and playing around with different video software and putting it up for others to see. It might not be the video that you end up using in Lesson 7, but just trying out a test to see if the video file works on Blackboard, if you can upload it, and if other people can see it. And the conversations board is a great place to play around with that. When you're in this lesson, you've got a few assignments that you're going to be completing. Of course, you've got your group discussion and summary. All the groups have been doing an amazing job of posting on time, getting in that initial post that both answers the prompt, connects back to course materials, and many of you are doing an amazing job of bringing in outside resources, right? Articles, videos, websites, blogs that you find to support the point of the discussion. So keep up with that great work. So for this week, after reading the article and watching the video, then you're going to engage in a discussion with your peers around this prompt, right? So you're going to think about, in your future career, come on now, there it is, in your future career, what are some of the ethical issues you think you're going to encounter? And what is your plan for kind of developing the competencies and the skills for handling these ethical issues effectively? So it's kind of twofold, right? So thinking about where you want to go, where you want to work, and what are some ethical issues that might arise in that space? And then what do you need to do to develop the skills or the competencies to work through and manage those ethical issues effectively? So that's your prompt for the board. Remember, your board should be a place where you can foster discussion, you can share ideas back and forth, and then one person from your group will type up the summary of what transpired in your board and submit that here in this assignment upload. The other thing you're going to do in this lesson is you're going to have two people in your life complete a performance review on you, all right? So this here is the idea of a 360 performance review. So you're going to find two people that can complete this review on you. And so the first person has to be an authority figure. It could be an employer, a teacher, or any other person that you would consider an authority figure in your life. And then the other review can come from a peer, so somebody that's not an authority figure. But you're going to give them this performance review document, and I'm going to try to open it up here just so you guys can see what it looks like. Here it is, right? So you're going to give them this review form to fill out on you, right? So the person being reviewed, that's you, right? And then the person being conducting the review would be, here maybe your employer's name, your boss's name, your teacher's name, and they're going to complete all of these questions about you. They're going to rate you and add comments about who you are as a professional, right? So different skills that relate to professionalism and how they would rate you on a scale of exceptional all the way to unsatisfactory. And so what you're going to do is you're going to ask 2 people to complete this review on you, an authority figure and a peer, or if you have more than one authority figure, you can use 2 of those, right? But one could be a peer, the other has to be an authority figure. And so for this assignment, before you submit these 2 reviews that they're going to complete on you, make sure to, you might even want to make a copy, right? Because you can scan them in and then upload them, but also read over them because you're going to need the information, the things that they shared with you to do your self-reflection for the week, okay? So you need to start thinking about who are you going to ask to do the reviews for you and get that information to them right away. The other thing you're going to do, another lesson in this, another assignment in this lesson is the professional development plan. So this requires you to think through different aspects of your short-term and long-term goals. So it's going to take you through 3 different steps. Step 1, step 2, and then step 3, where you set your specific goals, right? So you're going to end up writing 3 different goals, right? The benefits that will come from those goals and the steps you're going to take to meet them. But before you decide on what your goals will be, they're going to take you through this. A document takes you through some questions about exploring your vision, right? And then also, like, who do you want to be 6 months from now? What do you want to be doing? And then what do you need to learn to be able to get there? A year from now, who do you want to be? What do you want to be doing? Right? And what classes or interactions in life are you having to get you there? And then 3 years from now. So this kind of goes back to that professionalism, right? In your career, let's say you're going to start your career in 2 years. Well, 1 year into your career, who do you want to be? What do you want to be doing? So, right? So this is kind of putting this light on. Even once we get our job, we're still going to be continuous learners. We're still going to be in the process of bettering ourselves. So these questions are going to get you to think about that. And then how might you also bolster your background, right? So you're going to think a little bit about what are your biggest strengths, and also what job-related experiences or skills are you lacking, right? So you're going to look at both talents and strengths and skills and experiences that you have and that you need. And then if you have some needs, who would you talk to, right? So what people would you talk to? Would you reach out to? And these could be like an actual person, or it could be a body of knowledge, right? Information that you could go to get the information that you need. And so once you work through those, thinking about who you want to be, what you want to do, what skills you have, what skills you need, then you're going to set some goals based on that kind of brainstorming through step 1 and 2. You will save this as a Word doc and upload it here as a part of your professional development plan assignment. Of course, you're also going to write a personal reflection essay, a 5-paragraph essay, and that's related to this 360 performance review assignment, right? So once you've read the reviews that were completed on you, you're going to respond to the following prompt. You're going to think about, what did people notice about you? Did you know that this is how people portrayed you? Were there anything that surprised you? And based on this, what areas or skills would you say need refinement? And so that's your prompt and your focus for your essay this week. Remember that all essays must have, to get a full credit, an exceed score, 30 out of 30, you need to be integrating course materials into the assignment. So some wonderful things to cite this week in your essay would be either this idea here, this reading on professional development. You could also cite the video, Professional Day Image Update, right? The 7-day Professional Image Update. You could even cite ideas from the actual review itself, and you can also cite any discussions that came up in your discussion board. So any type of course materials that you can bring in, but in order to get full credit, you have to cite at least 2 you need to include at least 2 cites to references in the course. All right, the last assignment for the week is actually an assignment that's going to require you to think ahead. So in lesson 7 of our class, you're going to do a career choice presentation. And that's one of the assignments that's due at the end of the course. And so, but this time in this lesson, we have to think about What career do you want to focus in on, and do you want to do this project with a partner, or do you want to work solo? And so that's what I'm going to ask you guys to think about in this lesson 5, is you're going to submit your plan for this presentation. So what you're going to do is you're first going to read about the assignment by exploring the rubric, which is here. Let me see if I can click on it. Okay, so there's the rubric for this presentation. So you want to read about what's going to be required. You also want to think about what career might you want to explore. So some of you know I'm going to be an early education teacher. Some of you want to set up your own personal gym. Others want to work with veterans. Some people want to go out and do health-based classes in the community, right? So you have an idea of where you want to go. If you don't know what career you want to go into, you can look at this list of possible career choices and see if anything interests you. Once you have an idea of what career you want to pursue and you are familiar with the expectations of the assignment, then what you're going to do is you're going to go into the discussion board, which I'll show you where to find that in just a minute, and you're going to find others that might want to work with you, might have a similar interest in mind. Now, let's say I want to set up a health-based community classes and somebody else wants to do after-school exercise programs for youth. While these aren't the exact same jobs, they are both based in entrepreneurship and working with the community. And so even though we're teaching two different things, we might partner together because we can research, hey, what does it take to set up educational classes in the community, right? What does it take to be an entrepreneur? What does it take to be a community leader? Something along those lines. So even though you might not want to do the exact same thing, you might find that it falls under a similar career umbrella. And so you can go ahead and work with those people if you want. You can either work on your own or with a partner for this assignment. So you're going to go to the board. It's called Career Choice Group Ideas. And you're going to just talk with people in your group, group 10, group 11, group 9, and say, hey, this is the career I'm thinking about, using for my presentation. Does anybody else want to work on this with me? And by the end of the week, you need to complete and submit this plan of action, right? So again, it's going to come up as a Word doc, so you have to go to File, make a copy, and then you'll be able to type on it yourself. But by the end of the week, you need to be able to submit something that has your name. You need to let us know if you're going to work independently or as a group. If you're working with a group, list all the names, you and your partner. What career have you chosen? And then because this project requires you to gather information or facts about a career, I want you to start thinking about what are some questions or areas of information you want to explore in relation to your career, and jot down those questions or areas of information here. There's 5 bullets here. You don't have to have 5. You can have more than 5. But this is kind of like a guide for as you go out to research your career, what information are you looking for, right? And then the other thing I want you to do is I want you to pace out your work for this project. So the project is due in lesson 7. We're now starting lesson 5, right? So you really only have 2 weeks to work on this. And so I want you to think about, what are you guys going to do next week in lesson 6, and what are you going to do in lesson 7 to be successful with completing this assignment on time and of high quality? Okay, so that is the last assignment for the week, to talk with others and then submit your plan. Now I said I would show you where you could find that. If you go up to your group, right, so here's one of my groups, group 10, and you do a drop-down menu, you'll see discussion board. So you're going to click on your group's discussion board. You're going to scroll down, and that's where you see, look at this, lesson 5, find a partner. Okay, so that's where the discussion board is housed. All right, I think that's it for our super long 14-minute overview. I hope you'll have a great week, and please do reach out via the conversation board or via email to let us know how we can better support you. Talk to you soon.